Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Now, we talked about the code drive and really what it is Faith Mission does in our community. But you know, like I mentioned, there's so many other needs and things to keep the mission going, and the refuge, of course, as well. But you know, one of those things, of course, it is a shelter. And being a shelter, you need a good roof, of course, to make the shelter a successful one. And that is top of mind right now because you're in desperate need of a new roof. So we are so excited to help them kick off this campaign this morning. And Texoma, they really have broken this down. I love how easy it is to see how you can make a big difference with such a small amount. So can you tell us a little bit about the need and how you've broken down these numbers?
Sure. We have a 24,000 square foot roof that we are going to have to replace.
Wow.
And we know from the bids that we got that it's going to cost anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000 to do. And so Vicki here was kind enough to break it down where even I could get involved, you know, to $3.26 per square foot would help us to be able to put a new roof at Faith Mission.
And I love that, Vicki, because it really does show how, you know, you think, wow, $78,000, $100,000, what a big amount. And it's possible, of course, there may be people out there who want to give that amount right now. Go ahead and write the check. But, you know, there's so many ways for people to get involved. And you say, I don't have a lot, but $3.26, if we all did that.
You can own a square foot of the roof. That's right.
I love that. And how many families can you help with that? So.
Right, and for generations because it's going to be warranted.
Absolutely. We're counting on that roof lasting about 20 years. So
well, there you go.
It's a pretty good investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wants to give to this need, how can they go about doing that? Is that something they need to mark specifically if they mail it in?
That would be great if they would mark it specifically for the roof, and they can mail it to Faith Mission at P.O. Box 965, Wichita Falls, Texas 76307, or they can drop it off at 1300 Travis Street. Also, we'd like to invite the schools to get involved. It'd be a great project for the school kids because everybody can come up with $3.26. Then you're part of something bigger than yourself. You know, like you said, I can't do the whole roof. I would love to be able to write a check like that, but I can't do it. But I can give $3.26.
And I love how you said the children, because Texoma, hey, maybe you have kids or grandkids or kids in your neighborhood or at church in your Sunday school class. What a cool thing for them to get together and raise that and feel so proud of themselves as well.
Right.
And bring that up there to the mission or mail it in or something. What a neat thing. So
Absolutely.
I love that. Another great idea, Vicki.
Thank you.
Well, we're encouraged to hear that. And, you know, we want to hear these stories. So if you do that, maybe your Sunday school class does this, maybe it's your children at home, put it on our Facebook page. We want to hear your stories. Text home about how you're going to help Faith Mission raise money for this new roof. So we want to definitely stay up to date on that as well. And that's going to be kicking off, of course, this morning. We're telling you about it, but throughout the year, you're going to be hearing a lot more about this at the first of the year, too, correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for helping us kick it off.
Absolutely. We're excited to see that come to completion. Is there a date you'd like to have the money raised by?
What we'd like to do is we'd really like to start the project next spring, late spring or early summer next year. We put off actually contracting for this until next May, and so if we had the money in hand by then, that would be a great time for us to do it.
Absolutely. Have it paid for and go.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, we really are excited about that, and of course, we're going to keep you up to date on their new project as well. So another big thing, of course, with Faith Mission, we've been talking about Faith Refuge and the need and how it's helped so many women and children as well. There are ways that you can get involved through Faith Refuge. But before we get into that, I want to ask you this. I know sometimes there's confusion when you think of giving to Faith Mission or Faith Refuge. It is the same.
That's
so
right.
how does that work, though, if someone wants to give? Do they need to give to the separate location? Or?
That is totally up to them, Ashley. And that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that because we are basically one mission in two locations. We have one downtown for men and one out on Hatton Road for women and children. But if people want to give to one or the other, they're totally welcome to do that. If they want to give just for women and children, write that on your check, Faith Refuge. If you want to give to Faith Mission and the needs of the men there, Faith Mission is who you can write your check to. If you don't care and if you just want us to take the money and use it for wherever we need it the most, you can still make it out to Faith Mission and it'll get to the right place. But we just want people to know that we are one mission Faith Mission Inc. But we operate in 2 separate locations. And we only have one board, and that one board represents the people all over Wichita Falls.
Our biggest challenge with Faith Refuge right now is raising operating expenses. We're so fortunate to have moved into the building debt-free, but now the operating expenses are running about $34,000 a month. And so that's huge. We have a way that people can give right now, and it's to donate to Faith Refuge, and they can receive honorarium cards that they can send out with their Christmas cards. And that shows, I gave to Faith Refuge in your honor or in memory of someone. That's available right now. We have 2 choices of cards that they can pick out. They can come to either shelter, Faith Mission or Faith Refuge, and pick up the honorarium cards that they will mail themselves, or there are some local businesses that have them available.
And we actually have those on your screen right now. You can take a look at those. Those are all the different places you can go to, and go ahead and buy one of those honorarium cards this Christmas. And how long are those going to be on sale for?
Forever.
Forever. So you don't have to maybe do this for a birthday or just because or anything like that.
We always, year round, we'll do the honorarium and memorials.
I love that. What a perfect thing. Anything else you can share with us about Faith Refuge, and really what kind of the daily functions that take place in there? So if a woman comes in there, and let's say she has children, what's going to be kind of her day-to-day activities that would go on?
Well, everybody checks in at the same time. And of course, if they come in after that time, 5 or 6, then they'll get checked in when they come. They will meet with a caseworker within 24 hours, and they will make an action plan. What brought you here, and how are you going to get out of here? What are your plans to become self-sufficient? And then talk to them about what are your dreams and goals. What would you like to do for a living? How can we help you do that? And share with them the local resources that can do the training, that can help them become self-sufficient, because we don't do it on our own. It's a community. It's a great community that works together to do this. And the nonprofits and the governmental agencies, they all work really well together. Recently we sent out an email that a man came in who had been laid off from his welding job, and within 30 minutes I had a response from someone that was hiring a welder. So we were able to just print that off and give it to him to go apply for the job. So it's just a wonderful community, and it's very humbling to work there and to see how God works in people's lives. But they also, at Faith Refuge, they have laundry they have to do. We have laundry facilities there that they can do. We have 3 different programs actually at Faith Refuge. We have the program for just the individual women experiencing homelessness. So we have 2 wings of bunk beds for them. Then we have a wing for women in the New Beginnings Recovery Program. That's what Steve talked about, and it's for women struggling with any type of addiction. And those ladies either come voluntarily or by court order. Also, thanks to our community, after they graduate, the women at Faith Refuge from the recovery program, there's a scholarship fund set up for them, and that was established this year in 2012. Then you move on, we have another wing, and that's for the moms with children. We didn't really have a good place in Wichita Falls. Even at the mission, it's not built for families. So this was built for moms and children. So there's bunks, and then there's a single bed for the mom, and they have a bathroom, and then they have a little family room, and they have a playground that Leadership Wichita Falls helped put in for us. And if you haven't toured it, or any of your viewers haven't toured it, we would love to give you a tour. And you could just go out there during the day, and someone will give you a tour. You can call me, and I'll be happy to arrange it.
That's pretty neat to see all the different things that are available. I mean, like you said, it's not just a shelter. It's not just a place to come in. And is it the same as whenever you come to Faith Mission? There's a service as well, and then you have your dinner or breakfast or lunch. Is it the same thing as
yes,
well?
There's 3 meals a day at each shelter, and the evening meals are a lot of times provided by volunteers. And if we don't have volunteers, the men and women in the recovery program do the preparation. We have a kitchen supervisor at each place, and they're there weekdays. But it's amazing to see the community that comes in and volunteers, and they either come and they cook our food, or they bring their own food and cook it there, or they bring it already prepared. So there's just a lot of ways to come and help with those meals, and it's a great way to introduce your children to service opportunities, and becomes a fun social event for you and your friends to do, and you know, especially at the refuge, man, that's a brand new kitchen, and for anybody that likes to cook, that's the place to be.
Youth groups have, I know, been a part of mine where they've come in and helped with the service as well. Do they still do that?
Absolutely. We provide a chapel service each evening, 7:30 at the Mission downtown, and at 7 o'clock at the refuge out on Hatton Road. And then that lasts for 30 minutes prior to the evening meal. 7 days a week we provide those chapel services, so we're always looking for people who want to come in and sing, play music, preach, and that kind of thing.
We know that you can't just give somebody tools to change their life. They're going to be a better chance of being successful if they take that opportunity to let Jesus Christ transform their lives, because life is not easy. Even if you've got a job, it's not easy. So to have the Lord to help you make decisions, and to learn that it is important to worship Him, and that He is our Creator. He's the one that holds us all together. And when we recognize that, man, things just are so much easier to make a decision. You know, well, should I move here or here? Should I take this job or this job? Should I do this training? What's best for my children? I mean, those are a lot of decisions to make. And for someone that's already struggling, and what's their critical decision? Where's my next meal going to come from? Where are my children going to sleep tonight? How am I going to keep them warm or keep them cool in the summer? You know, we have different decisions that we have to make, but when that's the biggest decision, the most important, you know that something's not going on right with your life. And for someone to come in and help and say, yeah, we're here to help. And that's what we keep hearing at the mission over and over, and at the refuge, is that I was so afraid to come here. I had this misperception that I would be judged and spoken down to and looked down upon, and it's not that way. Once they get in there and they see the compassion, and it's not just the compassion from the staff, it's the compassion from the other people in there, it's totally different.
When you see these families come in, because you know you're seeing a lot of even maybe heartbreak at times, you know, because you get close to the people, I'm sure, and their families. What keeps you going every day and allows you to do this day in and day out as well?
We see a lot of victories. We really do. Not enough, but we see enough that keeps us going. We see families who are either reunited, or they're given hope that there's something better. We see, for instance, we have one young lady who has a 6-year-old son who struggled immensely with school, and she and her son now are living at the refuge, which you wouldn't think would make things easier for him, although he's beginning now to receive some encouragement from her, his mom, because now she's beginning to become sober, and from some of the other ladies that are on the staff there. And at his first teacher-parent meeting this year, his grades had gone up. He made all A's and B's. Wow. And his grandmother told me, she said, I see he has the bounce back in his step that he didn't have before. We get to see that. And like Vicki said, we see the difference that relying on the Scriptures and God can make in a person's life. And we also get to see the difference it makes whenever somebody shows you genuine love. So many of the people who come to us are so beaten down and are convinced that nobody loves them. And when somebody says they do and genuinely means it, it really does make a difference.
Well, definitely, both of you, we just want to say thanks for filling those positions.
You're
and
welcome.
Being there for so many in our community as
It's
well,
our
and
privilege.
coming and talking to us today. And you know, we're actually going to get to meet one of the families from Faith Refuge coming up. So we just again want to say thank you for being here today. We appreciate it, and we look forward to learning much more about the future of Faith Mission as it continues serving so many families in Faith Refuge as well. So we hope you have a great day, and thanks again for being here.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you for having us,
Absolutely.
Ashley. In the last 10 years, women and children have become the fastest growing homeless population in America.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We now turn our attention to Faith Refuge. Like Steve mentioned, it is one mission that provides 2 different locations. This one provides a service for women and children. And joining me now to speak about Faith Refuge is Jennifer and Abigail and Ryan here with us. So we appreciate all of you being here. She has 5 little ones, so yes. 2 of them right here. We just wanted to show them off this morning, and very, very cute. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about Faith Refuge and what it's really meant to your family.
Well, I really didn't know it existed until I had called 211, which is the Human Resources Department, and they recommended me go to Faith Refuge. When I got there, they were so helpful and so friendly. It was a shock, and the staff is just amazingly good. And if you need anything, just let them know, and they've got it right there for you.
What about the other families? Have you been able to meet maybe other moms with children or other kids for little Ryan and Abigail to play with?
Yeah, the kids get together and they play, and it's just a really good environment to be in.
We're talking about the different services that they provide. Which one would you say has really meant the most to you?
I would say it was the chapel, to be perfectly honest. The chapel, the way they encourage people is just completely amazing. With faith, you can always get better and stronger. You can actually stand behind it.
We want to say thanks for joining us this morning. You can find out more information about Faith Mission on our website, newschannel6now.com, where we've also provided a link to this show under the Inside Texoma tab. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we'll see you back here next Sunday morning for more Inside Texoma.